What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Spawning in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Punkstar. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Gaboo. We finally see the Loki of Gaboo coming out. And we also see the Zeus of Punkstar coming out. This is spicy. We'll see how it's going to go. I haven't actually seen Punkstar's Zeus before, but picking the Zeus here on this map, we don't see Zeus here very often. But it does make a lot of sense to pick him here. Why? Because the double gold mine in the main base, generally speaking, hidden Hera timings is really, really good here. And you can make that work nicely. Also, any sort of early aggression to try and pick off your opponent's hunt and all the other good stuff that happens could be possible as well. But generally speaking, Loki gets all of that movement advantage. And one of the things that Gaboo does really well against Zeus in this match, well, against Zeus, and even in other matchups, is he's able to grab and sneak gold mines really, really nicely. But on this map, sneaking gold mines, forget about it. You're not going to be able to sneak one. They're all in the center of the map. It's very, very obvious. It's very easy to control that center of the map. So if Gaboo at any point here needs to leave his main base, and he really has some pretty unfortunate gold mines, he's probably not going to be able to sneak a gold mine for very long here against Punkstar, who... Okay, that's a boar dead there. That's not a villager. I saw the blood and I was like, did he lose a villager to a boar? Answer was no. He's going to be moving over onto this hunt here and making that work out. Now, we'll talk a little bit currently about some build orders here for those of you wanting to play at home. And if you find yourself in this situation with a 3 boar start, Zeus going off a 3 boar start does want to be hitting a 402 advance time with this sort of a build. With this sort of a startup. Why? 900 food. Perfect to just sit and eat all of these boars here, and then you can move over onto this hunt. One of the big reasons why it's completely fine to do this is, as opposed to splitting up your hunt, like there's this thought process, or even a not necessarily, yeah, it's a way of thinking that in Age of Mythology in the early game, in that people say you don't really want to have a whole bunch of villages just on one granary. Why? Because once the villagers stop gathering, then your food income stops. And I'm like, okay. The other reason is you want to be able to split your villagers off and go to a different direction as efficiently as possible. Now, so long as the villagers are not moving too far, which in this position they're not, from this location then to come over to here, if you simply just eat all of the boar first, and then you can send the villagers over onto the hunt, and you can move the villagers over onto this that you want, the right amount of villagers over onto this hunt, you will be able to advance. You won't need the food income while you're advancing because there's nothing to buy that costs food, and it's completely fine to make that happen. I mean, we can see the Jason coming out here, the food income coming through as well. Bit of a delayed advance time for Punkstar. It's not going to be that big of a deal, but in terms of if you're going for an Athena rush here, which Punkstar will be doing, I think it is a lot better to be 1 granary rather than 2 granaries. I don't think you would have been able to get the Jason out off of this though. And are the relics really worth it? Tail of Cerberus, not really worth it. Tusk of the Iron Boar, probably want to keep that one away from the Gaboo Loki. So it does make some sense here that Punkstar has gone for that 2nd granary, and he's going to be completely fine to get that Jason out, but going for the Tail of Cerberus doesn't really make any sense at all, as the walls coming down for Gaboo to defend all of his towers here. This always makes sense here. And we'll see what Punkstar is going to be able to do to defend himself against the impending Athena rush that's coming through. And also we'll see what sort of an Athena rush we're going to have here. We have seen a lot of attempts at double military academies, for example, rather than making the Toxotes, which can be very, very strong as well, as the villagers come off the gold mine here. 1 military academy going down. 2 military academies going down. So it is going for those hoplites here. Now, the answer for this opening from Gaboo has to be 2 longhouses. Go hoplite. Go Herser, throw an axeman. But I know Gaboo really, really loves his Hall of Thane's Herser. So this is almost like metagaming to some degree against Gaboo's Loki. And Gaboo here, he needs to start thinking about adapting to certain situations. Otherwise, life can get very tough for him. As the hoplites are starting to come out, villagers coming off of this wood line as well, coming over onto the gold here. You need around about 7 villagers on gold to support the double military academies pumping hoplites. And then you need around about, 4 villagers on food per hoplite. As the Minotaur doing a little bit of dance here. Gaboo comes in with his Herser. Bolt comes down. And the Minotaur here, it looks like it will be falling as the Katoskabos searches around for something to take out. At this point, he finds the hunt villagers over here. But I do think that there's no point in moving up to this location because that hunt is basically gone. So just sitting over here and controlling this location is going to be completely fine. And keeping an eye on these villagers, making sure they don't move forward and steal your own hunt is going to be a good way forward here. As the Odysseus here moving straight past this, you could have definitely taken out that troll, but not happening just yet as the Hall of Thanes ending up coming through here. Troll will go down there. Nice play from Punkstar as the Herser getting even more damage done. Villagers returning back to the home base. There's plenty of cows here for Gaboo to eat. So he's got no lack of food income on this map. We'll see if the sentry towers can get taken down here as the walls are up. The hoplites coming through here to defend as best as they can, keeping those Jason and the Odysseus alive here. And at this point here, you've got to start thinking, and Punkstar, he's obviously practiced this. 6 minutes comes down, and you get yourself the archery range. As Watchtowers comes through here for Gaboo, the next portion of the next decision-making here from the Zeus player, from Punkstar, he has to make the decision here. Either he can all in and kill this sentry tower, or he has to back up. It's going to be a watchtower as well very, very soon as the Jason does fall. And Punkstar, he has to make that decision here. Does he go after the watchtower or not? And he is going after. He's going to be losing a little bit of HP here. But this does open up this gold mine and this gold mine for attack as the watchtower falls. Herser trying to keep themselves alive here. And that's a nice play from Punkstar to take that one down as Gaboo retreats back in here onto that healing spring. And as we see all the units starting to pump out here from Punkstar. He's got himself 4 military buildings at this point, fully operational. The Death Star is not yet fully operational, but Punkstar is, as he is ready to continue the pressure as the dwarves pulling off of that gold mine. They do have this gold mine over here that they can run to, but without that tower, it can be a lot tougher. And I think that, if Gaboo just delayed his Hall of Thanes here a little bit, and in favor of getting some thrown axemen, I think he would have been able to defend that watchtower, and he'd be in a much better position to defend his gold mine here. But population differential still very, very close. Houses coming down at this point for Punkstar. He's kind of forgotten it. He's put it down somewhere. He needs to continue putting those houses up. Basically, every single 14 seconds, he's going to be needing a house here at this point, I think is the idea. So every house should just be getting built. You can kind of go house, 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 idle villager, house, idle villager, that kind of thing. As Punkstar still breaking those villagers off of the golds here now. Gaboo's got a decent amount of gold in the bank to continue production here, and there still is restoration. Medium hoplites has come through as well for Punkstar. As at this point, Gaboo's Herser, they just don't cut it here against the army which Punkstar's got. And Gaboo, he hasn't managed to get any raids onto Punkstar's units here. He's got 10 villagers on that position. Is the temple now starting to get targeted down? The Odysseus is the unit getting targeted here from the town center. So that temple here is basically a free pickings here, essentially, for Punkstar. And I think Punkstar kind of knows this as he pushes in, trying to take some dwarves out as best as he can, retreating back. Probably could have afforded to sacrifice one of those hoplites for the temple there, especially with the fact that the gold is quite low here for Gaboo at this moment. His ability to gather gold at this moment is pretty tough. As Punkstar now 85 population here, another house coming down. Lots of units here at full population, including that town center here. Punkstar's macro or house building here is getting a little bit, it's being a little bit slow. Thank you for the 16 months, Marty. Appreciate you, my friend. Thanks so much for coming and saying hi and the continued support. As the Toxotes coming in, going to snipe one of those throwing axemans nicely here as the Hoplites pushing through beautifully as another temple has to come back on the bottom of the map there by the Ulfsark. Valkyrie is out here for Gaboo as he gets a myth unit spawn. But, I mean, Gaboo at this point, 96 population, he is slowly climbing up. He's just trying to inch his way into a position where he can actually take a fight. But another dwarf going down there. 2 dwarves going down there. Nice snipes from Punkstar as Gaboo popping back out. He's got himself some throwing axemen now. But is it enough here to really win these fights? If Punkstar controls these Toxotes nicely here, we'll be able to do some hit and run kind of micro, so to speak. I mean, at this point, this is very rare for a Zeus player to be able to continue to eat hunt at this point in the game. There's plenty of cows. Well, not plenty. He's only got 5 in the base. If you count 6 as the carcass is there as well. But we'll see how it goes as the Hersa pushing through, throwing axemen, getting some good damage done as well as the Toxotes here pushing in. It might be time to just go for that restoration attack into the main base. Probably not actually, in all honesty, as the Hersa moving back and forward here. Gaboo here, full population, still getting gold, not plenty of food, almost out of the herdables here in the main base. No armory up just yet for Gaboo, but he definitely wants to get to that heroic age. And Punkstar at this point, he's got his armory down. He's stopped production of the military here, and he's looking to get to that heroic age, which will allow him to get himself some Hapaspist, which are going to be really huge to deal with the units that Gaboo's built here, as the Toxotes doing everything. And at this moment, Gaboo's gone, hang on, do I have a population advantage? You do. You should be fighting this. But Punkstar has snuck himself into the heroic age first here through Dionysus. He's going to start that production up, I'm sure, fairly shortly here, as his resources start to pick up. A couple more military barracks to make some more units out. Wouldn't go astray here either, as the army pushes forward for Gaboo. And Punkstar here significantly behind the population, and Gaboo gets the restoration that he wanted, but he's still stuck in this heroic classical age. Not able to go to the heroic age. He's got 1,400 gold in this gold mine. He's still able to hold on to that one. The Punkstar is just playing a little bit of hit and run here, keeping Gaboo on the back foot. Restoration is down though as the units are starting to come out. We'll see if the immediate transition into Hapaspist is going to come here for Punkstar. After all is said and done, Punkstar retreats back as the Hersa starting to break through here. Hoplite's coming in. Toxotes getting some good damage done. Nice micro onto those throwing axemen here, as the throwing axemen not really doing all too well. There's the bronze coming down for Punkstar as Gaboo. He's still taking this fight. He should not be taking this fight in the slightest here. Those units, 40% hack armor. The Hoplites go up to something crazy like 54% there as well. So they don't die here, as Gaboo's army is falling down 85 population there, as well as Gaboo's army gets absolutely obliterated in this fight. And Punkstar able to push Gaboo back into his base. Also, we still haven't seen those Hapaspist started just yet. I'm still surprised that that's the case, but the majority of Gaboo's army is taken out here. There's still 700 gold left on that gold mine, 1,000 gold left on this gold mine here, as well as Punkstar says, no worries, I'm just going to push you off the gold. Gaboo's got himself no gold really left in his bank here, as a dwarf does end up getting taken down. A second dwarf ends up falling there, as well as the Toxotes can very happily sit underneath the town center fire here as a Hydra coming in to say good day. But look at this down the bottom here. Gaboo sneakily grabbing himself the Aurochs here to give himself some food income. He's still fighting in this game as best as he possibly can with the situation he's in, but with no real access to gold here. Gaboo needs to be making himself trolls to help himself fight against this Punkstar army. But I imagine Punkstar at this point, he's got to be thinking market and Mythic Age. Hera here is going to put a stop to any sort of flaming weapons shenanigans that that Gaboo might be able to use to pull him back into this game. As we do see Hammer Troll coming through the upgrade and the trolls getting started here as the villagers getting pulled off of that gold mine. Punkstar still trying to inch his way towards victory here, as he doesn't even have a lead on the villager count. Gaboo's lost a ton of villagers in this game, but he doesn't have a lead on the villager count here at this point. The Heracles is also out. The Odysseus is out. Punkstar's got himself 800 food, 500 gold, so getting closer and closer to that mythic age as well, as a market does end up getting thrown up here by Punkstar. So he's definitely thinking mythic age to finish this game off, as Gaboo here eating up the Aurochs on this position. Still getting away with that, which is really huge, as the gold here coming through. He's almost got all the gold. Well, no, he doesn't. He's almost got an army here, but the gold income to get himself to that heroic age is a ways away, as Punkstar now, Hera, god of choice, no surprises there, is going to be able to get the Bellerophon to deal with that Hammer Troll incredibly easily as well. As I like to say, when I do these kind of semi-fast mythic ages, instead of going for farms here, once I run out of food, I just chuck everyone over onto gold, start making Medusa and Bellerophon. And you can also, if you want, you can then put villagers onto farms after you get everything out. But it can definitely be an easy way to start things off, as the Hydra making its way over here. It can kill off all those deers and get itself some heads here. 800 HP for a 5-headed Hydra is a very rare sight. We are seeing that's what Punkstar is doing here. Love to see it. As the army retreating back, Bragi on the way here for Gaboo, but he's going to be greeted with a lightning storm here. Most likely 3 heads. You can probably get 4 heads here. Who needs to be paying attention to that one though, as it's going to be idle for a little bit. He didn't quite click on all of the deer. Punkstar still moving forward and back, just slowly but surely keep himself in this game. The Hydra here, 3 heads. The villagers moving forward here onto the gold mine, and he just misses it barely there. Obviously, Gaboo right now, he's going to be wanting to mass out those battle boars, so he knows there's going to be a huge influx of favor here with the flaming weapons, as the Hydra with 3 heads coming in here to help out. There's the flaming weapons, but immediately goes down and lightning storm hits at exactly the same time here, as the entire army of Gaboo and the villagers to boot get massacred on this fight. 100 favor remaining for Punkstar. The 4-headed Hydra here is going to be able to clean up the battle boar to boot here as well, as that gets cleaned up. And I imagine Punkstar immediately going to be getting himself the Bellerophon out here, as well as Gaboo. He can't even get himself the battle boars out, as the villagers are pushed back. Gaboo has managed to sneak himself this gold for the time being, but what else can he do? As he pulls back into his main base, he needs to get himself up to full population and getting some units out here, as the Hydra 4 heads. Look at this Hydra 5 heads. It's so huge. I'm pretty sure, what is it, a 50% minus versus heroes? It still does 50 hack damage versus heroes. That's still gigantic. This is such a brutally strong unit when it gets those heads out. I love that he went for those those deer over here, as the Hydra does unfortunately fall on that position, as the Medusa coming through here for Punkstar. Punkstar still spending his resources really nicely. Second town center coming up as well on that position, as the Jason spots the gold coming in over here, as I'm sure at that point Punkstar is just going to say, all right, time to kill those off. And Gaboo in the 17th minute, after all is said and done, does have to tap out. And Punkstar claims the victory, leveling the series 2-2. We've got a game 5, ladies and gentlemen. For the first game of the playoffs, a game 5 comes through. Let's go. As both these players very evenly matched. We'll see what Gaboo is going to go in game number 5, what map we get. But Punkstar showing the Zeus Athena rush. Very, very strong here against Gaboo's Loki on this map. If you guys enjoyed it, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.